What is the essence of Islam, true teachings of Islam according to Quran and Sunnah?
Firstly, shukriya, abti taku.
Thank you.
Firstly, it's a great pleasure for me to be in Pakistan. MashaAllah, it's my first time here. I initially came because I was invited to, one of my students was getting married, so he invited me to his nikah. And I thought it would be, once I arrived, it was a good opportunity to learn more about Pakistan. And subhanAllah, it was an amazing experience. I think there's so much potential, there's so much khair in Pakistan, and there's so much potential for development and possibly being at the forefront of leading the Islamic revival in the Muslim world. So that's what I see from Pakistan, and inshallah, may all of us work together to see that arise. In terms of the question you asked, like what is the, you could say, the aim of the Islamic worldview, to put it in a simpler way, is that to make Allah's kalam the highest over all mankind, so that it doesn't mean that every single person on the planet Earth must be forced to be Muslim or anything like this, but that ultimately the measure of international justice, the measure of rights, the protections for mankind, whichever religion people choose to adopt, is guaranteed by the hukum of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one that is not subject to people's whims or desires, if it always convenience, as materialist ideologies are based on. They're based on convenience. If your rights are no longer convenient due to the ruling authorities, then say goodbye to your rights. Whereas in the worldview of the Quran and Sunnah, it doesn't matter if it's convenient to you or not, or the people's rights. The creator of the universe has decreed that it's obligatory in all insan to provide hukuk to every person on planet Earth, Muslim or non-Muslim, and to guarantee and protect their blood, their sanctity, their property, and their right to voluntarily choose which deen they follow.
What do you think that Islam is not only deal with rituals or spiritual bindings, but also Islam deals with economy, Islam deals with governance model? How can Muslim world, they can revive Khilafah model, Khilafah ala minhaj an-Nabuwah, to overcome their challenges?
Well, I spent 20 years, you could say, psychoanalyzing the Muslim world. Many people who become Muslim, like myself, it was a natural thing. You have a purpose in life. So when you discover your purpose in life, your whole life is directed by that purpose, not just your private life, but your social life and your political vision and worldview. Humans are not part-time worshippers of the creator of the universe. We are full-time worshippers and slaves and servants of Al-Khaliq. So in that situation, we expect a purpose of life to give full guidance, not just to your personal rituals, but how to actually enact justice. What does justice look like? How do you achieve it? Fi sabilillah. How do you create a society that has Rahma, mercy in it? How do you create a society that protects people's rights, allows people to achieve the affairs that humans require, fi sabilillah, according to what Allah has decreed? So we would expect the purpose of life to be comprehensive, not just part-time. Any religion or deen that says it's only for part-time application is not a true religion or deen. So of course, Islam is comprehensive and not just tells you to do justice, but because even Jews and Christians are told to do justice, even Hindus are told to do justice in their religion. But what does justice look like, and how do you achieve it practically in the best way possible? That's the hidayah, the guidance that humans need. Because there's so much ikhtilaf. Are you liberal, Marxist, conservative, what have you, neo-Marxist, communist, what have you? There's so much ikhtilaf about how to create justice, and they fight each other over this, and they cause injustice trying to create justice. So humans can't do it by ourselves. We actually need guidance by the one who made us, who's in essence, if you buy a new electrical equipment, you'd have an instruction manual with that, right? From the maker of that computer or TV or what have you. So what's our instruction manual? It's in the Quran or Sunnah. The Creator gave it to us. We should follow it.
Muslims are compassionate. Muslims are, they believe in coexistence. They try to live in inclusiveness. So how can they be labeled by a terrorist?
Okay, well, as the Quran says, and it's commonly known, La ikrah fi din. So there's no compulsion in the deen. Of course, the verse continues because the truth is clear from error. So we don't need to use the sword or the bomb or the bullet to spread Islam. Whereas in the West, being a materialistic ideology, didn't give that same consideration to people around the world. So colonialism was all about spreading Western ideology by force, because they didn't have confidence that their ideology is strong. So in that situation, as Muslims, we focus on Rahma, right? There's so many ahadith and so many verses of the Quran where Rahma is something which is a beautiful thing in itself. It is something that makes the person who shows mercy beautiful. Allah loves Rahma, and He forgives people who themselves forgive others, as opposed to if you hold a grudge against other people and you must demand payment and you must demand punishment for them, then Allah will hold you to the same standard. And if you don't want that, you should forgive and to hope for Allah's forgiveness, as many verses of the Quran.
Is this explanation true? Khairun nasi man yanfa'un nas. The best among people who is source of benefit for the people. Prophet did not say Khairul Muslim, Khairun nas. So this is a global Nabawi order for everyone.
Well, as Muslims, we're not here just to benefit Muslims. We're here to benefit all of mankind. The Rahmah of Islam, I mean, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was described as coming as a Rahmah for
Rahmatan lil alameen.
Yes, for all the peoples.
Not
all
only for Rahmatan lil Muslimin, no.
Yeah. And so, as Muslims, we actually view Islam as a means of help, guidance, and a protection for non-Muslims, not just for Muslims. And if we approach it like this, then people would actually, like in the past, would say, we actually want the protection of the Muslims. Like, for example, in the time of Umar radiallahu anhum, when they had conquered some towns and cities from a Roman occupation in Syria, and then they basically, they had to retreat a little bit due to some strategy or tactics. And when they retreated, they returned people's taxes. So here you go, we can't protect you at the moment, but here's your taxes back. And people were shocked, saying, oh, these people, they could have kept our money, but they gave it back to us because they couldn't honor just yet protecting us. And so they gave it back. This is actually a very honorable thing to do. And they were amazed. And they said, please, may Allah bring you back to us, because this is not like we were used to under the Romans. So this is where the reputation of Muslims and Islam should be one where people welcome us and want the justice of Islam, even if they don't actually follow it. As in, they don't follow Islam themselves, being a Jew or Christian or what have you. And we see from history, the Islamic law courts had many people who were Jews or Christians coming to Islamic law courts seeking the Sharia solutions because they preferred the Islamic court to their own Christian or Jewish courts. Because in Islamic lands, you can have Jewish and Christian courts for themselves. We don't say you must follow our law. No, we don't. In fact, there is no Western country that allows multiple law systems for the minorities, where Islam is the only one that allowed law systems for minorities.